Last time, in our Parenting Top Tip, we talked to new moms about finding a great way to protect yourself from the barrage of well-meaning advice that comes from grannies and grandpas and parents, and finding one person whose advice you trust. This got me thinking about the whole idea of what I'd like to call competitive parenting. And today I'm joined by Jess Basson because we've both had a similar experience as mums where we got caught in the trap of competitive parenting. Jess, why don't you share a bit of Will's story with us?
Well, my son Will marches to a different beat. He's unconventional and he's creative, and often I find people misunderstand him or I don't understand him. And so on one side, it's been a challenge to say, okay, he's not going to do things the way other people do. But often how I've interpreted that is that my parenting approach is wrong, or I'm doing something wrong, and comparing myself to what seems so easy for other people and I find so difficult has become a real struggle.
I remember, and I had a similar experience, I remember when my first child was little, getting caught in this trap of must play netball, must play hockey, must be on the swimming team, must do all the sports available. And what I did was I enrolled her in all of these different things and then fought with her every single lesson to go because she hated it. And I so wish I'd realized that she just wasn't a sporty child, and just because everybody else was playing sport, it didn't mean that my child had to play sport.
And I think when you make the voices of other people louder than your inner voice and your gut instincts, you create so much pressure and tension between you and your child. And instead of looking at the uniqueness of your child and looking at your gut instinct about them and what's best for them, the voices of other people become too loud.
And that can be so destructive. Jess, your friend who is a child psychologist gave you a perla of advice when it comes to this kind of thing. Don't you want to just share that with us as we close?
Yeah, this friend of mine really spoke into me at a time where I felt like if my child isn't like everyone else, I'm doing something wrong. And what she said to me was, Jess, the world needs kids like Will, and a kid like Will needs parents like you. And it was so affirming that God had a plan for his life and had created him and wired him to be a certain way with certain strengths. And God had put this child in our family, under our parenting for a reason. And every time I start to doubt myself or try to change him or change myself, I lean into that idea that the world needs kids like him, and a kid like him needs a mom like me.
That's great advice. So look at your child uniquely and individually and lean into the idea that the world needs kids like yours and your children need parents like you. Have a great week.